5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BrickFeed Podcast. My name is Jonathan.
My name is Meso.
My name is Eljay.
My name is Van.
My name is XX Rover.
And this is the BrickFeed Podcast, episode 67, recorded on the week of August 22nd.
How's it going,
2017.
everybody?
It's
It's going pretty well.
going well.
It's going pretty good.
I feel like this is the first BrickFeed I've been on in like a month.
You haven't been
it's
on
been
in
a
a good
while.
while.
It's been the last 3 or 4 episodes. Ben and I.
Yeah, we
Van,
missed you on the video podcast, dude.
Yeah, man, you're supposed to be up. You're supposed to be on for review week, and you just never showed up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can't believe
We sat there waiting. We sat there waiting.
We
man,
waited a whole day for you.
Yeah, we were like sitting outside Var's doorstep, like, "Where's Meso?" And he never showed up.
Rip.
Meso was not, in fact, scheduled for review week.
That voice though.
Then that video podcast finally came out. Took a bit of a while.
Apparently
The video
audio
podcast
is
take
really
a lot
quiet.
longer.
I haven't listened to it.
People keep saying it. When I listened to it on my thing, I thought it was fine. We did do people point out that it's only coming from Ven's mic, and that's purposeful. Because we recorded with 3 mics, but the reverb was a bit much, and Ven had an omnidirectional mic, and we were like, well, we'll let that.
It might not sound the best, but it sounds even,
right.
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
It did an not automatic balancing, but like pretty well for everyone. But I mean, some people found an issue with it. We'll take that into consideration the next time we do a video podcast.
Probably because
be
it's
like
a
next
larger
year.
room that didn't have any padding.
Yeah, that's what I'd guess.
Yeah, I mean, like we listened to
have
it
another
after
video
we
podcast.
recorded
Well,
it.
disclaimer,
and we
I
said
have
it
not
sounded
heard
fine.
it yet, so I don't know what it
Same.
actually sounds
I
like.
heard like a little
then, like,
segment.
What we heard it there, like Ven played it back for us at the house, so we said, okay, I think that's good. And then during editing, I put it, it went through all the prelims and stuff, and we all thought it sounded pretty. I mean, it's not the best it could sound. Obviously, it'd be great if we could all have individual mics and our own like mixer and everything, but
We've got another video
We don't have that yet.
podcast coming out where we use like 4 different mics, so hopefully that one sounds.
And also I'm in it, so
Yeah.
it's automatically better. Yay!
And then Purple's in that one too, and she's sitting on the couch in the background,
Yeah.
talking to the recorder. So I hope that one turned out. I feel like that one's the one that's
Oh, yeah,
getting
you're
involved
right.
in
It
most
was like
trouble.
5 different mics.
There's 5 different mics.
Well, alright, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
How's things
interesting.
been in this realm of Legos?
Yeah. Anyone get anything post Brick Fair?
What haven't I got?
No,
You haven't got the Temple of the Ultimate Weapon.
That is true. I have not got that. I made a few purchases.
You're a
they
madman.
were large purchases.
Words.
I got 6. I'm gonna start small, build up. I got 6 minifigure packs for Ninjago, because
Did
they
you feel
finally
them up?
hit my Walmart. No,
Pleb.
I thought that random chance is my friend,
But it wasn't, was it?
I forgot to flip the
Spoilers.
luck switch before I picked them. So first, I got the Shark Army Angler, and unfortunately, I got 2 of them. So 2 duplicates on my first batch.
Got an army build, dude.
Then I got the Shark Army Great White, and there is no white on him, so
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
make of that what you will, outside of his teeth. Then I got Volcano Garmadon. You're seeing a pattern here, aren't you? And then finally, I also got 2 of him. And then I got Shark Army Octopus.
So basically, you got all the villains then.
Yeah, aside from like that gal with like the smoothie thing, yeah.
Embrace the dark side.
Evidently, I get the impression that's what LEGO wants me to do.
Do it, dude. Villains are the way to go.
No. So, I then made, this was after I'd made a LEGO shop at home purchase. And 3 boxes had been sent to me. Only 2 of them have arrived at the time of this recording on August 22nd. First one being the Ninjago City Chase.
Good
you
call.
know,
I got that one too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think you got that one, so nothing too new. The Green Ninja Mech Dragon. You guys also got that one. I saw that Brick Fair. Nothing too new. And finally, and I haven't built this one yet, but I really want to, the Ninjago City.
Build it, dude. Get on that. It's gonna take you like a week.
You know, it's like the thing about those big sets. I just got the assembly square in the mail, and it's like I've been wanting to build it for the longest time.
It's
and I
such a
just
commitment.
It's such a commitment, dude. And I have like my roommates coming in and out and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to like actively just carve out an afternoon where I said I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to build the set.
That sounds like the funnest
great
while
thing
ever.
is-
Why would you not want to do that? That sounds amazing.
No, I want to do it. I just got like school starting up and all that stuff, man. I got stuff to do.
If I could have the set shipped to me pre-built, I would.
That's the joy of
come
building,
on.
man.
No, I wouldn't do
For
that.
those big
yeah,
sets, it's a display thing. Like putting all the little
I get
tiles
you.
on top of
I get
each
you.
other is just it's just a
Listen,
drag.
here's the thing. I get it's the display thing. Totally get you. Part of it is though, when I pay $300 for something, I do want to have that experience of like this was worth $300.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If I got the Arjutsu Temple for nothing, I don't know. I don't feel like I'd enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
I feel like it could also be on the flip side, where you by the end of the build, you just look at it and you realize, oh man, I can't believe I just spent $300 on this.
That's true.
But the price per
That's
piece
true. But, like,
ratio makes up for it.
No, actually, you know what? Thinking about it now, I think it'd be way better if you got it for free, because you can look at it and be like, I can't believe I got this for free. This is so cool.
XD.
that is true. No, that is really true. I feel like I would appreciate it in Ninjago City a lot more if I got it for free.
Yeah, well, in this instance,
If I got it for free.
pre-built. I'm
Not
looking
pre-built.
forward. Well, of course, that duh. But
Duh.
I'm looking forward to the build. I really want to build it.
Just do it.
And
Why don't you
I'm
build
really
it? Build it
happy.
right now.
No, I'm not, because it's gonna make a bunch of that background noise.
Who cares?
Maybe
we need background
AT will.
AT would
Yeah.
care quite a
Won't
lot.
care. Everyone that cares about our podcast audio
quality.
quality
Oh,
would
look,
probably care.
AT. There's still room for improvement as an audio editor. This could be a good challenge for him.
Wow. I built Umarak
There's
the
a-
Destroyer on a podcast before.
You did.
Gosh.
Construction's a little easier though, because you don't have the little wrestling of all the little bricks stirring back and
it's
forth.
easier
You know?
because
System
you
has
only
like
have
3
the
times the amount of
clicks.
parts.
Yeah.
Man, this is lit. Ugh, my goodness. I'm really excited, and I'm very glad that I have my weekend coming up.
Mm-hmm. You just sit down and take a crack at it.
Pretty much.
Get
So,
hyped for the third, soon-to-be fourth largest set ever.
Yeah, no kidding. But I have one more thing coming in. It just hasn't gotten here. So next week.
Nice.
All right. Sounds awesome. I do
love
want to hear what you think of the
stuff.
Ninjago
I'm just
City.
Broke. Yeah, definitely update whenever that gets done.
I
Yes.
hope to get the assembly square done by this week, so I can talk about it next week. And then hopefully some more stuff. I got some stuff coming in, so let's hope that gets there. We had the designer. We had the designer of Ninjago City, one of the designers, not the only designer. He was on for MakutaFest.
Yes, Nick Voss graced
Nick
us
Voss.
with his presence, and we learned a lot about the Easter eggs and stuff.
Really,
Yes.
really great guy. Can't thank him enough for doing that. That's going to be up on our channel pretty soon here.
It'll already
Right,
be
it's
out by
got-
the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, awesome. It's ready. Yeah, it's all set to go. It was a live stream that aired on Saturday.
Yeah,
August
I'm not
19th.
sure.
Saturday.
I'm not sure. I might have to download the video and re-upload it to get it to be published in people's subs boxes. I'm not sure if it will
I
be
don't think you
published if I
should.
just flip the switch.
I think it should just immediately go live as a separate independent video, but I'm not sure. I can't verify that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I've seen it happen both ways. Where sometimes when you upload stuff and you keep it unlisted for so long, you make it public, and then it doesn't show up in people's subs boxes. What I would assume is so that you don't abuse it by every 5 hours making your thing unlisted and then making it public again.
That is what I would presume as well.
And then
yes.
bumping it onto people's sub boxes so that everyone sees it.
I know it was
'Cause
a problem
assume
we
that's what people would
experienced with the
do.
vessel a few times, so we'll test it and see.
We'll
But
test
anyway.
it. We'll see what comes out. But
He shared a lot of
definitely go
useful
check that out.
information about the procedure stuff. Confirmed there were 3 BIONICLE Easter eggs, which was nice.
Yes.
And
Gosh.
confirmed that the statues are meant to represent the ninja and not Hero Factory, like I had
Yeah, I'm
assumed.
sorry, Meso.
not Galador.
Not Galador, not Hero
I
Factory.
mean, yeah, we crossed
Not
Galador out
nothing.
really early on.
Galador would have made more sense.
I
to
felt that
Hero
made the most
Factory.
sense.
HF was a stretch, I'll admit, but I was hoping that it was the
HF
case.
was a stretch. Galador was even more so because they don't have like definable characters in certain colors.
I have certain characters. I'm not sure if they have characters that match all 6 of the colors, but I know Nick Bluetooth could be blue.
I just
I'm
always
not
thought they
familiar
were
enough with
Galador
Galador.
characters because he had the Galador shirt. Just
One thing I was actually thinking about, they have the movie, the little movie posters, right?
Yes.
And I saw a bunch of them on sale at Brick Fair, but there were no Bionicle themed ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
It's
I
dead.
bought them all.
I think
Missed
that's
Well, I mean, like,
opportunity, man. We
we
could
should,
have had a
we
poster
should-
for the Bionicle Man.
We should do a little something.
Hate to break it to
Just
you,
see
but
if we can get
Bionicle's dead.
yeah. I
so
think
nobody
also the
cares.
thing is that
Yeah, I mean, like,
those posters.
Guys, we can't talk about Bionicle on BrickFeed.
True.
But
it's Galador is dead too, and it's prominently featured
Yeah, but
Yeah.
several times on this.
prominently.
This thing,
are you talking about the
Sure, we
like?
have a Bionicle reference that's like really blatant at the top of the city, but Galador is on a minifigure on the box. And
Right.
even then, it's the original logo, too. The Bionicle one
pretty
on the top
crazy.
of the city is an alternate, like, stylized version.
Yep.
But John, were you?
it's still really cool, but yeah, I mean, Galador is being very prominently featured in. There's been like this kind of funny thing where like some of the designers on Twitter have been posting. Nick Voss has been one of those. He's posting some cool stuff of Galador, or like little mocks he's been doing, and like
according to
slowly
him,
he's been
it's far from
worming its
over.
way. Yeah, he's gonna continue to do it. Not Galador, the line.
Nick Voss
just
and
him posting on
Tooth
Twitter.
Dominoes as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, well, yeah, I believe that's everything everyone got, right?
Pretty much.
I've gotten it.
I'd love to get
All right.
Lego sets, but I'm currently not
Wait.
spending money.
Alex, did you
Messi-
say you
no,
got
no,
something,
Messi,
or
you
did
did
you
get
say
something.
you
I got
didn't
like a
get something?
couple minifigures, but that's most.
Oh yeah.
But like it's just been my like I've mentioned the quest for the orange-haired girl, which I have yet to find in any
Misako?
of the
Misako.
8 different stores I've been
Coco.
to. Yeah, Coco, her, and the search continues. I now have I believe 2 or 3 of the anime girl. Like I sit there and I just go through all the bags. I'm just sad that she's not there, and so I feel up one of the weeb girls, and I just grab one of those just so I feel a little less sad leaving the store empty-handed. And I'm just gonna
Phenomenal.
be making an army of those pretty much, and that's it.
Do it.
Yeah, well,
Pretty much the only thing I got during the last week was because it was my birthday. I got a birthday gift, K2SO, the Construction Star Wars
oh,
set.
such a good parts pack,
Uh,
man.
I can confirm that not only is he a stellar parts pack, but he's also a pretty good set as well.
He has very
He's got a bunch of
wingly
creative
arms,
building
though.
techniques. Very gangly limbs, but also his torso is probably the most complex they've ever made, except for Darth Vader. It's entirely Technic built, and he has a function which works like Skull Bashers, but better. So,
But he's
all
got
in
that
all,
one
quite
black,
happy.
like Tua armor piece on his
Yeah,
stomach.
one black piston. I love it though. It's really cool.
That's such a good part.
So that's that. I think he's one of the best sets they've made, just appearance wise. Like he looks perfect. He looks appropriate for the character.
Yeah, if all the construction
Nice.
sets were his standard, then maybe they wouldn't shell for him that hard.
If only.
If only. I actually am kind of glad that K2SO is confirmed to be good. No, Var said that a while back, but I've always thought it was the best out of the Rogue One sets
Oh,
by
by
far.
hands down.
Hands-
It's not even a
And like I feel like
contest.
there's this particular character was like tailor made for the contraction action figures. So like it looks so accurate to the movie, and it looks like it really works well. And I like the head he has. I like it a lot.
Definitely, it's a really cool head mold.
It has a lot more detail.
Also,
Yeah, because it's not trying to look like a human head.
speaking
Right.
of, very briefly, I did also get Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus as prizes at Brick Fair 2017, and they are only okay. And that's pretty much all I will say about them. Both do have redeeming qualities, but they're only okay.
I'm a little disappointed that they still did not actually give a different kind of skin color
Yeah,
to Chirrut Emily.
so
I was kind of hoping. I was really hoping.
it would have been cool.
would have been real cool if we got like an
But
actual.
I will
Asian
give
skin tone.
credit where credit is due. Chirrut Imwe gets by because he has his cloth piece and the complex bow. Otherwise, he's a fairly standard build. At least Baze Malbus does a lot of different stuff. He has a weird torso armor construction. It's like a plate, but then there's Technic like overlapping to form like this bulky over armor. So at least he has that going for him. So credit where credit's due. That's
The
about all I
bulk
can
is part
say.
of the movie, so I do enjoy that. It's just the faces, man. I don't know what Lego's doing to faces, but they got to figure out. They just need to stylize them.
Yeah,
I honestly do
it's
think
a
that
problem.
like you look at most the figures that are popular now, stuff like the Funko Pop stuff and whatnot. A lot
Those
of
are
those
different kind of
are
figures, though. There's like collectible chibi figures.
way different, very very different.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
But, like,
they need to find.
But the
what I'm
principle's
talking
very
about, right?
well. No, the principle's not the same actually.
I think the stylized thing is the way to go because they're trying to do traditional action figure style heads and they just
does
aren't.
not work.
They're just not working. I feel like no one in the contraction audience really likes them. And from what we were told at Brick Fair, they don't sell as well as the ones without
Yeah,
ones with like a
just
mask
kind
or
of
a helmet or
kind
something.
Of a duh moment, but it's nice to
Right.
know.
It is nice to have like kind of solid proof that is the case. So
They
all right.
aren't
What's
selling well, unlike Bionicle.
Yeah.
Well, we did not hear that they weren't selling well. We heard
Just
that
not
the
as
ones, the ones that don't have a human face sell way more.
Bionicle, on the other hand, that sold like hotcakes.
It very much did. All right, let's move on into
yeah.
the news docket. We got only a couple bits of news today. The first thing that is like of any kind of interest is that if you guys remember, we talked about the Panama Canal education set.
Panama Canal.
And it was a set that was released only from Lego Education to a specific market. I think it was in Panama actually. Panama. Now it can be purchased online, and there's actually with free worldwide shipping by DHL, so you don't need to pay for shipping.
That's cool.
It is priced at $250.
Oh no, dude!
It
Not
is
so cool.
How many pieces do you think that is?
1,000 something.
I forget the part
It's
count.
1,000.
1,184 pieces.
Not
So the price to part ratio is really, really bad.
I just
However,
cringed so hard, dude.
dude, I guess it's supposed to be educational. It's supposed to like show you how the canal
How
works
not
and
to
stuff.
spend your money.
Exactly. There are only 40,000 of those produced, so they're not going to be around for a good while. To be fair, it is a thing where if we bought some now, we invested and we bought some now, we could sell them at a later time for a very, very high profit margin. Because again,
True.
only 40,000 were produced, and it is a high price set right now, meaning that not a ton of people are going to have it on that level. So
At that
maybe
same time,
this an
we gotta wait and
educational
see
set?
how many people are gonna want it.
it's an educational
Yeah,
set.
it looks like it. Oh, it
Yeah,
literally
no, it
says
totally
Lego
is.
Education. That was a okay. Okay.
Yep.
Wow, you need an education to learn how to read.
Oh!
That's my
Panama.
Yeah, it's your
Panama. No
All right.
copyrighted music.
Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is a conversation that Eljay you had on
Okay.
Twitter with a set designer.
It's
I'll
partially a
link this in
conversation
here.
I had on Twitter and partially a disagreement, big surprise, that we've had regarding Lego Mechs. And I'm a native Exoforce fan.
Hero Factor, you almost said it!
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Reboot confirmed.
Anyway, I'm a native Exoforce fan. I really love the mechs. And so when the Fire Mech came out, I was super excited, only to realize that it doesn't have knee articulation.
No,
Which you can see by the
knees.
pictures right away, 3 seconds after it was released. But okay.
Exactly. So Kai and I disagreed on why it is that so many common mechs nowadays, after 2009, lacked knee articulation. So I went to Twitter, and I just asked the general question to any Lego set designer who may be able to elaborate, why are humanoid mechs with knee articulation so rare after 2009? And Tooth Dominoes, who is a Lego set designer, he worked on the J2O Makuta. He worked on, I believe, I want to say Lego Boost. I don't recall right now. But he was actually in the chat live studio audience for MakutaFest. And he said that the list of reasons is surprisingly long. One of them is stability, which that's not exactly a surprise. His follow-up to that was really illuminating. He says,
I didn't consider this at all.
not at all. He says, our long-term stress tests show that knees in larger mechs severely limit their ability to stand up over time.
So it basically degrades the longer.
Yeah.
You know what? That makes sense.
What do you?
Right.
What?
I mean, think about Bionicle sets. Over time, the ball socket pieces and and their joints overall, they do degrade. They do become looser and weaker as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the more
also-
you mess around and play with them and whatever.
You have to imagine this mech too. It's mostly top heavy, right? And so
It
the
looks
knees are
top-heavy.
supporting most of that weight, no matter what it is. Because again, you have the feet and the legs, and then the knees, and then everything else in that mech is supported by that knee. So
Yep.
the majority of whatever set you have is going to be, stressing down on that joint. The other thing that he mentioned that was the one that I was thinking of where I didn't consider this at all. I did kind of think about like the knee over time, but that wasn't, it wasn't like a thing I ever brought up. The thing that completely caught me off guard, 100%, was that he said that testing has found kids have trouble understanding knees and how to pose them to make a mech stand up.
That was strange.
What?
No, I actually,
That makes
the
sense
more I
from
thought
a
about it,
kid's
the more
perspective. With the
from a
younger
kid's
audiences.
perspective, that does make sense.
It's a lot easier
Maybe-
to have two ratcheted joints connected to the body and then like ball joints with the feet. It's a lot easier for kids
Maybe
to
it's
move
the
them around and
construction
have fun with them.
fan in me. Might be the construction fan in me, but I knew about knees from a very young age.
Wow.
I
Might
knew
be
there
the
was something
human
wrong.
in me,
There's
but
a
I
lot
knew
of
about
intricacies
knees at a
with
very
like
young
the
age.
There
system.
was something I...
Meso, you need to calm down.
All I'm saying is that when I got a Toamata when I was like 4.5 years
He
old...
did not have
and I
knees.
couldn't- and
He
I
didn't
couldn't-
have knees.
And I couldn't bend their knees. I knew there was something wrong and that they should have knees.
Those were
Yeah, I felt the
construction.
same way, man. Those commercials were a lie.
Yeah. But fair enough. Kids of today might
Well, I
be
mean,
different.
no.
They've gotten
No,
so
I-
used to
I
being
don't think.
stationary and
Listen,
sitting
I don't
that
think
have
you
used
can
their
blame.
knees.
I don't think you can blame the kids of today. I do actually think there's a marked difference between a Bionicle set and a mech.
I'm just saying, like, not understanding how knees function. Like, that's a...
It really
It's not,
depends.
listen, it's not. It's,
think.
it's not. I feel like that you're taking the. He wrote it in a tweet, and then you're doing like, oh, he's saying stupid kids don't understand how the knees work.
Not being that
But
hard.
kids understand how knees work. It's just hard for them to balance the mech. I feel like that was the biggest deal that they came up with, or that they
Yeah.
found,
Yeah,
is
'cause
that like, when
stability-
kids are trying to use the joints, right?
Stability is a huge thing.
Especially if you-
They
a
want
lot
their
of
kids
adults.
to pick up the mech, play with it, and then put it back on the shelf really easily. And that, if you add knees, you're just adding more complications
Right,
to
it
that.
topples over a lot.
Well, that depends on
Yeah.
the stability of the mech itself, of course.
Yeah,
Right,
that
that-
really
I mean,
does
that's what-
depend.
that's what
I've
we're
seen
saying.
a lot of adults poorly pose a set with knees, like construction sets before.
Oh yeah, Hero
So I
Factory
can understand
pictures.
how a kid might not fully grasp the concept on a set. At that same time, of course, for me, it was always kind of second nature. Because I've always been really good at posing sets with
But
knees, because it's
not
just
everyone's
like,
as good
if they're
as you,
humanoid.
LJ.
Same for me. I mean, same for knee. I mean, same
Oh my
thing.
gosh, thanks, Wes.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like this is something that I feel like if we were to sit down and review all the footage they have of like kids trying to play with the knees and stuff, we'd come to the same conclusion. We'd be like, yeah, okay, that's not working. I that is part of the thing that like as AFOLs we have this idea of what we want Lego to to have and like stuff that works for us, and we have to also realize at some level that there is a disconnect
All
between
I'm
what we
saying
feel
is,
that we can do and
Witch
what kids
Doctor
actually
had
end up doing.
knees.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the best posability. But,
Yeah, and everyone knows that Witch
Doctor had
Doctor
knees.
kept Hero Factory alive for the next couple of years because of that posability, right? That was a real hit.
Witch
success to
Doctor's
kids.
posability saved Hero Factory for an extra
Dude,
year.
Witch Doctor had pretty good posability considering his size.
You just make it a jab.
It's sarcasm, X.
It's
This is an
sarcasm saying
unknown
that, like-
language to me. I am foreign.
It's time you go to school and learn, boy.
We don't have sarcasm in Norway.
Yeah,
we just
you
have
should pick up
darkness.
that Lego education.
all the sarcasm closes
Sarcasm
down at
Lego.
7 p.m.
I do think
Yeah.
though with the Lego knees and stuff, it's more on the thing that I don't really think Lego needs to worry about the needs that much, because it's more about the thing with John said, is that with the majority of people, like if I don't think there's a pretty low percentage of people that will probably look at Lego Mechs and they will judge whether or not they're going to buy in dependent on their articulation. Because when people see Galaxy Squad Ninjago mechs, they're going to be like, oh, that's a cool looking mech, you know? Because you don't need knee articulation for a mech to stand up and just look cool. And that's mostly the selling point in these mechs, is that if it looks cool, then people are going to buy them. They're going to buy it for their kids for their birthdays, and they're going to be a happy customer either way.
The one thing that someone does mention, another person at Cynical Makuta, he mentioned that like the ratchet joints from Mike's Kingdom or X-Force, the old ratchet joints where you could actually, lock them into place, could solve that. And Two Founders responded saying that while they're still around, current quality standards mean that they are not meant for mechs of that size or larger.
Huh.
Which I found very interesting, because I have to think back again to Exoforce, where those were heavily used. I think those ratchet joints were introduced around 2001, 2-ish. I can't verify that right now. But the mechs that used those and had any articulation, because almost all of them did, were almost always around the size of a Toa. They were very small.
They used a lot less parts than mechs of the same sizes right now.
Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense that they would use those and have that knee articulation, but now there's a lot more detail, they're a lot more top-heavy, so I can understand why those joints aren't used, because they're ratchet, they're not
clank.
Yeah, thank you.
They're not classy.
Hey.
With some ratchet joints.
They're not going to stay as stable as a lot of people like to think they will.
Yeah.
I do, Exoforce is one of those themes that I really liked as a kid, but I never got one of the sets. I never got any of the things. I just watched all the videos and stuff, and I followed the comics.
I regret
and I thought,
not getting any of the sets. Cool. It's really, really awesome.
I have so many Exoforce sets. I
only
at
have
least
like
5 from each.
I think I only have one.
Would you give me one Exoforce set?
I have literally not a single Exoforce set put together in just. No, there's not a single set.
Hey, look! even Evo XL Machine had knees.
He was construction.
He doesn't.
He does have knees, but he does have the same level of articulation.
Yeah, but like, you want to talk about somebody being top heavy? It's like
Meso, he literally has the same level of articulation as the red fire mech.
You're right, because the fire mech has bendable ankles, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
he has knees.
Which makes him for some very awkward.
Which is, to be fair, kids probably were able to pose him really easily, which is why that line continued on for the next 5 years
John,
past this point.
You should let me know about the Exoforce, because there was a lot of Exoforce sets that you could buy at BrickFeed for like very, very low price.
There were, none that I saw last year.
I didn't really see him. Varg did get one last year. I actually didn't see him, so
I saw like one, and it was really expensive. It was like $80.
$80 is too much for me.
I remember seeing some, but none of them.
That was originally.
I would have bought it for $20.
You want
honestly Exoforce sets? They're not all that cool.
What?
I just
like the one that Varg got did not look that impressive.
Spider-Man sets aren't all that cool. No, I'm kidding.
They're not. The thing you gotta understand, Exoforce sets, looking at them now, they are nowhere near as good as mechs are nowadays. Because the building... Yeah... Well, okay, maybe the 2008 stuff. But the thing with the Exoforce mechs, especially the early ones, they're very blocky, they're very clunky looking. They're unrefined. And LEGO has done such a great job nowadays of really streamlining and... I don't want to say stylizing their mechs, but they really do have a particular way of going about making mechs nowadays that looks quite distinct, especially from Exoforce.
It was an important step they needed to take.
Yep. Yeah. And the next step is rebooting the franchise, basically.
Nice. I think that'd be excellent, but we wouldn't have very many mechs.
Yeah, like I will say, because Exoforce had so many different... There's so many different mechs that you see released right now, and there's many different mechs that Exoforce laid out. I will say that there's some Exoforce sets that hold up today still, and there's some that just don't. Like, there's some that is just bunch of barnacles thing on him. But yeah, then just take it away, man.
That orange thing looks awesome.
Yeah, that's uplink.
What'd you say, Ven?
I was saying, look at that orange thing.
Yeah, it's uplink.
I mean, I will say that that's about the same amount of parts as a Star Wars Battle Pack, and if you look at some of those, they aren't really that much impressive. I think that's more of a victim of the parts, the parts limit. But it's not a very impressive set. I will give it that. It's one of these not good examples.
It's a supplementary set, which is funny because it's one of the main characters.
I like this mech. I thought this was just. I mean, it's not super amazing, and there's a lot of gappiness to that mech, but it's something
Red
unique.
Meteoro claws.
Yeah,
that you don't see.
It's like it's a very. It's not as refined as the mechs now. Like even the Mech Dragon that I built yesterday
Well, the
is
Mech Dragon
just
is
so,
like a work of art to the Ninjago
It's so
movie.
smooth. It's. I know it's not like a humanoid mech. That's so smooth and streamlined and so fun to build, and it looks great. And I like the look of these. I think they're cool. It's just that they're not as smooth. Like for example,
Are you talking about the Exoforce not being smooth?
Yeah.
They used a
One
lot of
of
very
their
big,
poster-
smooth plates and armor,
Well-
though, that makes them smooth.
refined, not as refined, I should say. Like, look at this. This is the poster boy outside the Grand Titan for Exoforce. This is a stealth hunter. That was released in 2006. Fast forward 2008, it's last year. This is the Chameleon Hunter. You can kind of see a little bit of a difference.
Those two sets that you're talking about right now, I would say look pretty cool for the time that they came out.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like I said, I like them. They look really cool. But absolutely, you're gonna get I would say a better experience is what I'm gonna say right now out of the Fire Mech as opposed to those two. Maybe.
Well, comparing any of these Exoforce ones to the Ninjago movie sets, because they are made with such a high standard because they're made for a movie.
The Earth mech.
But I will say, though, that there is, for example, this isn't really a mech or anything, though, but, like, this is an example of just, like, a larger creature made from Lego in recent years that's just really terrible, in my opinion, in terms of just the entire thing made. So, I mean, we could go back and forth on this all day, basically.
But I like the Moro dragon.
Yeah, but why does he have a weird tooth at the front that's just sticking out? And it's just
true.
It's just
No,
really
I get
weird,
that.
and then he
That
has
looks
like
real weird.
smooth plates.
Yeah, I like this dragon. I mean, the tooth thing is pretty weird, but
I think this is the best mech of the modern era.
Oh my gosh.
Is it the King's mech?
This is why.
No, no.
oh
No,
yes.
Oh, that reminds me though. Like this whole thing started because I went back to look at mechs to see, where the drop off was. And Kahi, you had once said to me, "Find me a mech that was released within the last, I don't know, I think you said like 5-10 years that had knee articulation." Last
It
year,
wasn't 10 years.
okay, it was 10 years. Nexonites released a mech
No, I
last
said
year.
it wasn't 10 years because 2007 we did have we still had mechs of knees all over the place.
Okay, yeah.
And
so,
Hero Factory had knees, and that wasn't like a.
well,
thing, so-
again, that's construction-ish. But Nexonites, they had a mech that released last year that I just completely missed, I guess. I'm getting the picture for it right now. That has full knee articulation.
Is it King's mech?
It's not the Black Knight mech. I think it's the King's mech.
Yeah, it was
It's a King's
posted.
neck.
I posted
King's
the King's
mech.
mech.
Got it.
King's mech is probably one of the
There
better
it is, yeah.
mechs that we've seen in recent years. That's not from the Ninjago movie.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
And it is-
It's
oh,
also
you know what? I
small.
thought about getting this.
It's also really
I did too.
It's also really weird because it's one of those really very few sets that actually look better outside the box. Like there's a great
That's all
amount of
Nexonites'
postability
sets.
that you can do with that mech, and that box art really does not do it justice. But there's so many people that recommend that mech, so if you just want a mech to just play around with, I would very much. I don't think there's anything that you can get right now that's better than the King's mech, considering it does also have the articulation. It's one of those very few ones that actually has that.
It's because it's small enough to be able to handle it.
Yeah, and it has a
That's
surprising
why it's
amount of
good.
detail on it as well, so...
Yeah.
I should
pretty
actually
killer.
get this mech and see how it measures up. It is interesting that like they're combining construction and system together in this kind of way. I do like it. I wonder how it will
Construction? There isn't
how it will
really
look.
much construction apart from the ball joints, which is
Yeah,
system
that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the
faceplate's construction, but that's technicality.
yeah, I am talking about the joints. X is correct.
Yeah, like
I mean,
the joints.
to be fair, again, construction just means constructible action figure. I'm not talking about CCBS per se. So, but it is using the ball joints and the sockets
As
that have
opposed
been
to
essentially
traditional ratchets.
right,
Yeah.
traditional ratchet, which I really like. I consider the ratchet joint system, and I consider the ball and socket more construction. The
Agreed.
mixel joints I consider system, to be fair.
But these ball
because the
joints
ball and
are
socket, I feel
essentially
I've only
just
really been
upscale
using.
mixel joints.
They are.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, mixel joints are literally downscaled versions of the construction joints. You know, with the same ball
I
and
mean,
socket.
it
thing.
is all
Just
Lego,
connected
to
with
be
it.
honest. So,
Right. No, it's all Lego. I mean,
Can we
that's
get
a
Duplo Mechs up
imaginary
in here?
thing that like we get there.
would you?
No,
Meso?
we can't.
Would you say, Meso?
Don't do this.
One of my
No,
first,
don't-
one of my
no.
first mocks when I was younger, building with Duplo. I built a Duplo mech.
Did it have knee articulation?
Yeah, it did.
No.
Do you have a picture of it?
No, unfortunately, many years ago. But
Wait, hold on. It had knee articulation. How'd you pull that off with
No,
Duplo?
It was a joke.
Oh. You're a joke.
I know.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next little bit of stuff we have here.
Little
'Cause
bit.
We have to speed up before we wrap up. There is a set that Lego's been teasing for a while. It's going to be the biggest Lego set ever made. And they've been doing the social media rounds, teasing the amount of parts it is, teasing the amount of stuff that you need to complete
they've
it.
kept it very under wraps. It's commendable.
They've kept it very under wraps.
Oh, yeah, they
so-
have.
Wraps.
very under wraps.
But I'm not a rapper.
This is about as under wraps as
So
Bionicle
there's
G2 when it was
rumors.
revealed.
There's rumors going back and forth as to what it is. The biggest issue I feel sometimes with Lego is that they overlook some things. And one of the things that
Obvious
they
stuff.
tend to overlook that's kind of obvious when they're teasing a secret reveal of something is file names. File names of videos that they upload to tease. And I believe, Eljay, what was the actual, like,
think it
full
was,
title of that?
UCSMF, and unfortunately we don't have a licensed MakutaFest set yet.
Unfortunately not. And I don't think it's going to be, the spin-off of Friends either. I was actually going to say Murder Friends, and I was like, nah, probably not going to be it either. I don't think the Friday the 13th horror Lego theme is going to be taken off anytime soon. So we, of course, cannot confirm or deny anything, but you can kind of make your own conclusions. The letters UCFMF and the title of an official release Lego video should tell you what it essentially confirms what a lot of people have been saying for a while.
It has to be the
It's-
Falcon.
It has to be the Falcon, and it's part of the thing that like Lego itself has kind of spoiled by their own doing a reveal that they were been planning out for a while.
Yeah,
Yep.
But
this
It's
is
just like what
unheard
happened
of.
with G2.
Like, this
Just
has
like-
happened.
same thing.
This has happened to Lego before. Like I made the joke earlier about Bionicle, and when they were teasing Bionicle coming back, the announcement in like a few days, they uploaded these pictures and literally had Bionicle in the file.
Yeah, the
name.
file name was Bionicle.
Yeah. So this
was
happens. So yeah, it's probably going to be another Falcon. And as we've come to understand it, it's not only going to be the biggest Lego Star Wars set per their teasing, it's going to be the biggest Lego set, bar none.
They just confirmed
far.
today how many more pieces it has. I believe I gotta go find the tweet, but they did post that up. So I'll go do that. Keep going.
Well, we had a really long discussion about before the podcast about the set. I think it's a mistake, honestly, to have the biggest set be the Falcon, and the reason why is essentially we recently last year there was a huge controversy because the Death Star got re-released, and it was essentially the same set. Updated minifigures and several updated things. It wasn't exactly the same, but like when you're looking at it, it didn't look entirely too different from the set that we got a couple years prior. And the issue of that is that I feel right now, for me, the Millenium Falcon's iconic from the outside. The outside of that ship is very iconic. The cockpit is very iconic. The inside of the ship is a little less. And to me, that just means that honestly, it's a lot less. And so they're devoting a lot of these pieces, again, the biggest Lego set ever, bar none. They're devoting a lot of pieces to something that doesn't need that many pieces to convey how iconic it is, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, if they redid the Death Star with double the amount of pieces that it did last time, because this is gonna, how many pieces does it have, Meso? Were you able to find out?
Yeah, the biggest Lego set to date is the Taj Mahal, which has 5,922. This new Millennium Falcon is 1,619 pieces bigger, which means it has a total piece count of like 7,541.
There's definitely got to be a
7,000.
brand new build. I don't think it's going to be just a simple upgrade of the original set.
We don't know that. It might just have a lot more interior.
We don't know
it's
that.
going to
That's what
look
I'm
like
saying.
that,
I don't think it's going to be that way.
There are rumblings.
So 7,000, the last Death Star we got, was last year, 2016, the Death Star got 4,016 pieces. So this is 3,000 extra pieces they have to work with. For me, when I think of the Death Star, there's a lot of iconic scenes in that, and the set itself has a lot of iconic scenes. I just don't know why, when they're making the new version, and they're like, alright guys, we can do, we have one set that's gonna have 4,000 pieces, we can do another set that's 7,000, we also want to do a new Millennium Falcon, and we need to do a new Death Star. Why isn't the Millennium Falcon the one that's like 4,000 pieces, and the Death Star, which has so much more inside it, you could do a lot more with it, is going to be the 7,000 one? That makes the most sense to me. I don't get it.
Because a huge thing with the Millennium Falcon is that it is accurately scaled to the minifigures.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the reason.
Someone in the audience posted that it's obviously Alderaan.
Nice. Don't you see the picture?
All broken in pieces.
But that's pretty much it. And it's just like, I mean,
Rest
the
in
thing
peace.
with the Death Star is that it doesn't really need to be bigger because they've already fit all those scenes in there. Sometimes bigger isn't always necessarily better.
I don't know. They could put it make a shell covering.
I don't know. I mean, beyond the shell covering, though, X, the controversy surrounding the Death Star being re-released would not have happened had they had more room to do stuff with. Had they created something new or expanded some of the rooms inside it, I don't think that controversy would have been there. So to say that they don't need it,
I don't think it did.
we don't know. We don't know.
That's the thing, though. I just don't think Lego doesn't do. Usually they won't do something like this because they just don't need to. I mean, the Lego Death Star set had sold for so many years, and the only they could upgrade it because it looks a bit outdated even now when you look at it just with the updated minifigures. But the only thing holding it back for a lot of people was just that it didn't have updated minifigures, and if they could just they could just reshelf it, and there you go.
But here's the deal, X. I'm not talking about the reshelving thing as the issue. I'm not talking from, again, this is an argument that if you had in 2016, we're like, why can't Lego do a bigger set? And it's like, well, they really don't need to. What you're saying makes sense, and I agree with that. What I'm saying is, comparatively now, what we do know is that they had 2 Star Wars sets in the works, right? And one had the limit of going 7,000 pieces. And they said, okay, is it going to be Death Star or Millennium Falcon? Let's make it the Millennium Falcon. That's the thing I have issue with. Lego doesn't need to make a bigger set, but if they're going to do one anyways, why not make it the Death Star?
I think it's because it's easier to make the Millennium Falcon accurately minifig scaled than the Death Star.
Well, do you think the old Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon looks outdated? Because I don't feel it does.
No, it doesn't look outdated, but they stopped producing it, and they can re-release it with slightly updated minifigures and all that stuff, and there you go.
How many more pieces did the previous Death Star have over the latest one? Do you guys remember?
Only like 400-ish.
Oh, only 400.
It wasn't a lot, certainly.
This new Millennium Falcon, the old one, the Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon, released in 2007, had 5,197 pieces. So at some level, they figured out how to make 2,000 more pieces look more, go into more accuracy, I guess.
Maybe they actually have paneling under it this time.
Yeah, I think the UCS version is just way more fleshed out, and I believe it's also much bigger. than the retail
Can
one.
they really make it more bigger at this
We
point?
don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like.
They probably
and to be
upscaled
fair,
it to fit
to
more
be fair,
details on.
hypothetically, we don't know.
Probably
It
so.
could be a new Lego set with the titles MF. For the sake of hypothesis, for theory, Meso, for the sake of theory, we're arguing about
It's a
this.
set theory.
It's a set theory.
I don't think it'll be bigger. I just think that with the intricacies and all the newer, smaller pieces that you can make to make a lot more detail, it will just
X,
have.
I think you're kind of wrong, dude.
We literally don't know though. This is just speculation, and it's.
I know.
You're right. It is speculation.
Yeah, like-
It is a conversation that we'll need to have after the fact.
Yeah.
After the images have been released, and we can look at it and say this is great or this is not great.
The only thing I will say is
I still do
that's-
question.
The only thing
Go
I
on.
will say is Star Wars continues to frustrate me on principle alone.
Why?
That's all I will say.
Why-
Can't.
what
I
is
just,
that
I just
principle,
can't agree with
Meso?
you, X.
The constant re-releases.
But why?
I'm not interested in it.
But that's
I
the
feel
thing,
like
because
as a casual fan, I'm not interested in it.
a
and I
casual
feel
fan
like
of Star Wars
and
or
I feel
Lego?
like the horror. Both. Well, Star Wars, but
You
I
haven't
guess you
watched
can
a
call me Lego
single
casual,
movie.
too. Untrue. I marathoned it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, but he marathoned it like 2 years
everything.
ago.
Oh,
so.
I
Yeah,
thought-
to
because
Meso's
every time we
defense,
had
he
this
has
convo,
watched
you said you
the original trilogy.
No,
yeah,
no.
That was
I
true
feel like
for a couple
as
years.
a casual fan, buying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of sets just to like get slight tweaks to what I already spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars years ago on doesn't interest me, and I feel like it's a bad practice for collectors to go into as well. I feel like they're being exploited and they're okay with it. I feel like that's basically what it is. They're just kind of like letting it go on and supporting it, and it's bad business.
It's a double-edged sword, really, because on one hand, you get something more detailed and essentially, quote-unquote, better and better of your most beloved franchise and figures, etc. But there's also the point you made as well.
Look at that
I mean,
comparison between the retail and UCS Millennium Falcon from way back when.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It can be
Yeah,
made
it's
bigger.
huge.
I want to see the comparison between the old UCS Falcon and the new one. I want to
And
see
of
how
course,
how that is.
But just to intercept the comments, like, of course, who am I to say what people should spend their money on? You know, if you really like Star Wars, you really like Lego, and you're cool with spending like $500, $600 every like half decade or so to get the new updated re-release.
You make
more
it sound
power
like
to
all
you.
of the Lego Star Wars customers are the same people from like a
Exactly.
decade ago.
There are new people that come in and out, but
And Star Wars is becoming more and more relevant as time goes on.
Yeah,
There was
like,
a
I feel
period-
like
the
now
period that
more
these
than
old
ever-
sets were released were in the drought of Star Wars between Episode 3 and Episode 7. There's about 10 years we got nothing.
And there's also the positive side of them re-releasing all these sets, because at some point in time, I really, really wanted the droid gunship, but it was so old that I could never get a hold of it, and then they re-released
Yeah.
it in a better version, and then I bought that version, and it's sitting on my shelf, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, like I
do
never
think-
got the ATST back in the day when it first came out, and I'm glad I got the new one.
Oh, you got the
because,
new one
well,
from
for one
Rogue?
thing. Yeah,
It's so good,
heck
right?
Yeah, dude. It's great. It makes me so happy that I never got
They
the old
finally
ones
got
because
the
they got
shaping on the cockpit, right?
yeah, the shape is good, and the fact that I can actually go out and buy it right now instead of like at a Target rather than an
good.
eBay is really nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's the purpose of it, is not only to improve on these on the models, but to also give people second chances to buy the sets.
Yeah, they're so
Because
recognizable at this
they're
point.
not necessarily timed
Right,
things.
right.
They are timeless. These are iconic vehicles that we get time and time again.
And again, I'm just like, I feel that with the Millennium Falcon, there is it's a very iconic part of Star Wars.
It's literally
a very
the most
iconic build in Star Wars.
Iconic.
I actually, I don't know if I'd say the most
It
iconic,
is
to be
considered,
honest.
like, statistically
maybe the most
speaking.
iconic
It's weird to say, but it is.
in Star Wars.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe in
I
terms
can't
of like
think of
the,
another spacecraft that's better.
I would again, for me, the prospect of having the because I was also, even though I didn't get the Death Star, I like the fact they released the Death Star. I didn't get a chance to buy it beforehand. When it came out in 2007, I was 12 years old, so I didn't have $400 to spend on the Death Star. And so now when it's re-released, I actually like that. I'm just wondering why on earth they would choose. I don't think Lego needs to make something just bigger for the sake of it. You know, I wasn't one of those people that said, oh, Lego needs to, make a bigger Death Star with way more pieces. But now that I know that they had the budget to, I question the decision of the subject they chose to be this big.
I agree.
The number one Lego set, if they, that should have been, I feel it's more useful, it's more, it's better conveyed in a giant Lego Death Star that's way bigger than the one released 10 years ago that has way more stuff and the way better minifigures and all that stuff. I feel like that's better conveyed there than it is the Millenium Falcon, which I'm assuming will look slightly better, than marginally better than the old UCS. Cause I think the old UCS is really good. I don't mind them re-releasing that either. But now they're releasing it with 2,000 2,000 more pieces. 2,000 more peoples.
I completely agree.
It's just
unless
I don't
they
think
make
the Millenium
it
Falcon
bigger.
is that thing. I don't think it's the one that needs the more pieces. They could re-release it.
It
Same
should have been in
price,
Ninjago
maybe.
City.
Yeah.
That would have been
Honestly.
cool. That
Like,
honestly would have been really
yeah.
cool. But I mean,
And really
I get it. They're still
expensive. I don't know if I
experimenting.
would have bought it at that point.
No,
Probably not.
$700. I would have been severely tempted, though. Severely tempted.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is fair. Honestly, now at this point, I really hope that it isn't the Millennium Falcon
It
and
is.
that MF stands for Mustafar.
No.
What?
That'd be awesome. I'd buy like
The
7,000
complete
pieces.
subversion.
Lego
It's like,
Mustafar
wow,
I hope
this
it
is gonna be
stands
so
for
much bigger.
Mufasa.
It's
Think
like,
about it.
LJ.
it's like
Think
this
about it.
expansive playset.
No.
It's every scene from their battle. They jump around.
Exactly.
And go everywhere. It's like every scene.
There's a reason why you see so many vehicles and so little set pieces made with Star Wars. It's just
Because the possibility of that set is Mustafar away.
it's not happening. Basically,
Wow.
I would
I do think. I'm trying to think what else could fit to MF. What it was like,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Marvel's
Yeah.
Flashpoint.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yep.
Marvel's Flashpoint.
Right, where it's like Flashpoint, but like the Flash is running into the Marvel universe, and so it's like a giant UCS set with like Marvel
Mario's
and DC
fire
fighting.
flower. Mario's flower.
I want to.
Ooh, mangosteen and fries.
I want to say, Prentice said something in the chat right now, which was which I want to bring up, which is kind of interesting though, is that he would love to have a UCS Ultimate Collections turbo tank, and I don't. There's been like what 2 or 3 prequel UCS sets ever. And of all the everything that's recognizable from the prequel series of films, I do not think that the turbo tank would be one of them. I don't know. I can't actually think of what from the prequel series that could be the Ultimate Collector series. That's the one thing I can think of is like the big chrome Naboo ship that Queen Amidala has, but that would be a lot of chrome pieces, and that would just.
Yeah,
I don't think
and
that
like,
would
I
ever
don't think
happen,
that's
so
that
I
iconic.
don't really.
No, you know what? You know what they could do at UCS of the UCS Jedi Temple.
That's
Oh,
not
I would
ship.
love a Jedi Temple, man.
That's not. I would love that, but I don't think that would be a Ultimate Collector series. I think that would just be a playset.
The playset. No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I mean,
It could be. It could be both.
it could be. We'll we'll have to get to that at a different. Oh, what about like what's that place? Kimono.
Camino.
The one
Camino.
with the
There
clones.
has not
You have all
yet
the clone
been
army
a
and everything
single UCS set that is not a vehicle.
from the prequels.
That is not a vehicle.
Oh, not
It's
a
just.
vehicle.
It's
Dude,
literally
did you
every
see the
single.
like
Fair enough.
the recreation
Fair
of
enough.
Camino
Fair enough.
at Brick Fair?
What about Brick Fair?
Wasn't
There's like a recreation of Camino at Brick Fair.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Oh
seeing
yeah, I
that.
saw that with Batman hanging on.
Yeah, it
under.
was
Yeah, that
really
was
cool.
cool.
Wasn't
That
the
was cool.
Ewok Village UCS or
No.
not technically?
Playset.
Okay.
Usually UCS
interesting.
sets, they have like this little like black board under it where it tells like information about it and like a blueprint thing.
Yeah.
La-di-da. That's usually
It's like super collector.
yeah. Like that's it's meant to
like-
be. It's 100% something that's made for the
Pandering
affinity
for
stuff
collectors.
that John loves.
No, wait a second. X wasn't there was one that just came out, wasn't there? The Hoth one. That's not a
That's a playset.
no. That's
Wasn't
that's
that
a Ultimate
UCS?
Collectors. Yeah, there was UCS. There was a controversy about that.
Oh yeah.
Yep, no, he's
Actually.
right.
Yep. So that means Jedi Temple. Let's do it.
But that was very
Actually, I'm
not
looking-
well received,
I'm looking it
though, I
up.
will say that.
I'm looking it up. Ewok Village is also UCS apparently.
It doesn't say it on the box.
Well, I think it probably can be like considered UCS, but it doesn't have the board and stuff. But you know what I mean, essentially.
Yeah,
but from a
I
technical standpoint, it is a Ultimate Collector Series. But I don't like any person that collects them as Ultimate Collector Series set will not pick up Ewok Village, and the hot playset basically. If you see what I mean. So for the sake of conversation. There you go. But with that said, that does open up the ability, if they can make this horrendous hot set, then they can probably make a Jedi Temple. But there's also the thing where there's always a barrier with LEGO with anything they're ever going to make, if it's prequel stuff. Because prequel stuff...
All right, so let's run real quick through this next piece of news then, because we do need to start wrapping up. We need to get to the extra mock after this as well. So real quick, we're going to talk about the new set that LEGO has just announced, the Winter Village set for 2017.
I haven't even seen this yet. I deliberately didn't see it before the podcast.
Well, here you go. The Winter Village Station. We got our own little press release, but I'm going to link the brick set leak for everyone.
It's really nice because it has like this. It has like this Lego expert / modular feel to it, but it achieves this by using very little pieces, and you'll see what I mean when you look at it yourselves.
Oh wow! How much is this? How much does this cost?
This is going to have a cost of $79.99 in the US, $80.
Wow. Is that like a train track with no train?
Yeah.
Yes. The train was last year. If you remember, last year they had the Winter Holiday Train.
Ooh, look at that!
And you can combine these.
Do they still sell that? You can combine
these.
That's pretty cool, though.
I would hope so because they show it on the back of the box.
Yeah, that's actually because we saw these pictures, and I saw the back of the box first. I think no. I saw the back of the box, the image they used for that. But it had the white background, it had been cleared out. And I saw the train, and I was like, wow, this is something I would get as a gift for someone, because it has the building, and it has the train. But then I looked into it, and no, it's the train from last year. That actually disappoints me a lot. Do they still sell the train?
They do sell the train. I'm looking at it at Lego Shop at Home right now.
How much?
I like that they literally have Lego...
$99.
It's
$99.
It's literally Lego DLC like for the train.
Right. Yeah, that's actually pretty apt. It is $180 total without tax, which will probably get you almost $200 to have the complete set, I assume. That being said, you do get a Winter Holiday Train with the station, which the station is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Overall, but I do the thing both with the Holiday Train and with the station. I think they're really cool. I also do think that it's overpriced.
Agreed completely.
I
don't know.
I'm looking at it. Looks neat, but it does not look worth. Like I wouldn't pay $80 just for the station. I
wouldn't pay $60 for it. To tell you the truth, I'd pay like $50.
$60 seems like actually $50 to $60 seems okay. But you're right, $60 is the border of unreasonable.
The building itself looks like a $20 set, and then you have the car, which another $10. And then the minifigures.
The building, I'd say, is a $30 set.
It's the train tracks, which jack up the price, from what I can see. They even market it on the front of the box, like, oh, look at us, we got train tracks, woo!
There's a nice use of parts in here, though. You got the shield.
Really
the
nice.
Printed round shield for the clock, and also around the entrance. There's two, pneumatic piston pieces, or without the other component, of course. I couldn't find a picture of it actually being used as pistons and stuff, but you can see on this truck here the exhaust things that's between where he sits in the car, as well as the big tube thing.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
You can essentially see it, and I just spotted with all sets. I want to try and spot cool uses of pieces, and that's the only one. That's the ones that I saw on this set, and I just thought it was cool that they used that.
Come back to when they use construction bones for train tracks or something. That'd be really cool
for train tracks.
Meso.
What?
Yes.
That would no, Meso. You would not be a good Lego designer.
Why are most of your comments on this podcast just troll comments? I'm like, well, okay, all right. Like, I'm unsure if I should actually take what you say super seriously, or if I should move on.
It's like the double-edged sword. Like, on the one hand, it'd be cool to have construction parts used, but on the other hand, they'd never work as train tracks. It was like a pseudo joke.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah. I guess why don't they use construction to build the little bus here? Oh, because it's
Yeah.
And those
Put a shelf.
those round like beach. I don't know what it's called. But those green ones.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of those from
BrickFeed.
BrickFeed. Now I finally have a use for them. If I'm gonna make something
Yeah,
Christmas
it's
themed.
actually really
as
cool.
the
It could
wreath.
be as a wreath. I like the bus design. I like how it has like that more traditional front, kind of like a older Model T-esque looking, thing.
Yeah, and like the really cool kid,
So-
he's probably a YouTuber down in the left corner because he's got the cap. Like,
He's got the cap
Yeah, either
backwards.
that or-
Oh, it's Jake Paul.
yeah, that or he's like a Pokemon trainer or something. I don't know. It's one of those two.
He's gonna be the very
Yeah.
best.
Honestly, I mean, like, again, same thing I said before. Looks kind of cool. Wouldn't pay the price for it, to be honest. But trains have never been my thing. There are some people who are very passionate in the trains, the same way that we are passionate in the Bionicle. So
Yeah.
I bet they are super
I
excited.
feel like
The
we're
trains
kindred
fan.
spirits. The
Same.
train community and the Bionicle community.
Every time I see
I
the
wouldn't
train
say that.
spirits, the train community do something, I'm like, I get you. I know where you're coming from.
But yeah, it is. I mean,
Because
your
we're so, yeah, we're so invested in such a unusual branch of Lego.
Yeah.
What, us?
People did crazy stuff with trains at Brick Fair. It was quite commendable.
is the winter holiday one? Is that motorized?
I don't
I
know.
wouldn't think so
Nor
with
do
the
I.
price.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, Lego trains
Okay,
are usually
that's still-
really expensive if they're motorized.
Well, all right, man. There you go. That's what we got for our news docket. And now we're gonna move into the last segment we have on this podcast, the extra mock,
Extra
Yeah.
mile!
hosted by our very own X Trooper.
So,
Take it away, X.
So today, we got something cool here. So usually, a bunch of the Lego AFOL community is very obsessed with classic space. I'm not the biggest fan of it, usually because I don't really have like most people on this podcast here. Right? I don't really have a nostalgic relation to this, but I do. This guy on Flickr has like this series going on with something he likes to refer to them as the Nova Team. And so this is something that a lot of people on Flickr do, is that they post pictures and they have like an ongoing story going on as the description, and they go on adventures, etc. And I'm not usually too interested in that, but this guy has done it to a degree in which it is very exciting. So this mock in particular I'm talking about today is this truck going on an adventure, and it's as much about the truck itself as it is about the photography and the and everything surrounding it. And it is incredibly cool. He also has these custom-made minifigures, which are printed, which are made to a very high degree. I've posted these before, and he also has he's also a very big fan of lens flare, as you can see from these photos, and he makes a very cool, coherent story. So if you're very interested in procrastinating anything that you're trying to accomplish this week, then you can go through his entire stream and get the entire story.
This is really, really awesome. Again, it's because of what you said before. It's because of the photography, I feel, that's used to convey this story. More than just like a showcase of a cool mock. It's like, it feels like a photo that was like just
it
everything's
brings
made in
them
Lego,
alive, if that makes sense.
Right, exactly. I like the custom parts. I love the lighting that he uses. The lens
Lighting is
flare
on
actually makes it
point.
feel cinematic.
Totally.
I really
Like
do
I was like blurred in the background and foreground. Like I went to picture 14, and it's like there's some really cool perspective shots. Huh. I'm just perusing through.
What's this guy's name again?
He goes, his name is Rob Damiano, and he is going by the name Agathon29? I don't know completely how to pronounce that.
Agathon.
I really
Man.
like these, and I'm getting kind of a Mass Effect vibe from them.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like, from the suits that you can see, it is very...
Yeah.
And, like, imagine, like, going on a squad and stuff, and, yeah, it's pretty cool. And this very...
I would honestly buy a whole LEGO theme like this. Just, like, not space in the traditional sense, but more like an explorers and
Yeah,
space
we haven't really
kind
had
of
an
a theme.
actual LEGO space theme, because we got Star Wars and Exo Nights
Any
going
good
on
one?
right now.
Like Orient Expedition plus space. Like, I'd be all up on that.
I very much like this last photo here that he posted. It's very intriguing with the alien we got going on here. That's really cool.
Oh, wow.
And
Man, this is a really cool.
I don't really have a lot to say
stream.
other than the photography is impressive, but I'm scrolling through looking at all the pictures.
I honestly do really like the attention to detail and like how it poses. Like he poses the minifigures and make it look like they're actually in this environment together. It's not just like a just a showcase. It's meant to convey a feeling, a realm of storytelling essentially.
so I thought the way he put these photos together, etc., was very special, and I thought it was really cool.
Really, really
And
awesome.
I also,
Really awesome.
as you can see in the last photo there, that you can also see like a clear picture of the truck that you see in all these photos, and as you can see by all the details of the truck, it's a very well made truck, But
fully fleshed out
That is very
interior.
good.
It can be like troop deployment.
yeah, usually
This reminds me of all the vehicles I used to make as a kid, where like I had the explorers and they'd go to space, and then like it would drop down. It had all the tools on it, and it would all fold out and stuff. This is awesome. Obviously, way better than what I made as a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I was like, I
For obvious
I
reasons.
didn't know you were so into like space themed.
No, I was
vehicles.
really into. I mean, I did system. I used system for like the majority of my life up until I found BIONICLE in like 2006 ish.
Nice.
So, yeah, no, I
You
I
make
used
some
to build a
mocks
lot
be
with that.
featured on Extra Mock.
None of my mocks would have made it to extra mock. I can tell you that for certain. But-
don't sell yourself short, man. You never know.
Make a construction divine other with bendable knees.
Okay,
Anyway.
and I think that's
The
that.
divine other
Oh, no,
was
sorry,
construction,
not
and it did
construction.
have.
Sorry, I misspoke. System divine
I'm glad
other
you
with bendable
misspoke.
knees. Anyway, this mock's awesome. This mock series, this theme almost. It goes a bit beyond a singular mock. It's like a whole
Yeah, a whole
Almost like a
whole
theme
continuing
pitch to
story.
me.
He's been doing that for quite a while now, and he even
well, that's fantastic.
I don't think I'm not sure. I don't think he displayed this at BrickFeed, but this exact piece, which I posted here, with the truck and the environment here, he actually did showcase this before he put photos of it on the internet, which I thought was really cool. It was kind of
Right,
like,
right.
hey, it's kind of like the thing that games do right now with like, hey, you come to this con and you can try out the game before it gets released. If that makes any sense. No.
There should be an E3 of mocks. It's not like a regular convention. As people come to like present work in progress stuff, and like they build it there. They finish it based on like feedback and stuff using like constraints or whatever.
So
Think about
That's
it.
an interesting concept.
It never
would-
happened ever.
It would be. Well, I don't know if it would never happen ever. It is an interesting like prospect of like live building that I feel is not always not always
This is difficult
seen.
to do.
But it would be very difficult to pull off, and we don't. But I do like the idea. I like the concept a lot. I mean,
Let's
it might
do it
make for an
ourselves.
interesting show.
so what Don posted.
So-
Either way, I could mock.
What'd you say, Meso?
No, it was a good mock.
All right. So what Don posted here, he's asking about if mocks that are made in LD and Studio, etc., basically digital mocks, if they would ever be featured on this. And I mean, the criteria I have for featuring anything on the extra mock, I do try to have a sake of variety. Like I was spiraling into a thing where it would just be mechs every single week, so I'm just trying to stray away from that. And it also needs to be something that I thought would be cool to share. It's just because talking about mocks is there's so many there's so many different blogs for just about everything. Just, hey, this looks smooth enough on Flickr, we'll blog this, la-di-da, etc. So it's a pretty wide criteria, but with that said, I'm a very materialistic person. I like touching things. I don't think anything ever that is digitally made will ever be featured on this, and I'm sorry. Basically,
Blasphemy.
yeah. If you make something
That's
digitally
discriminatory.
and then you order the things on BrickLink or something, and then made it for yourself, and then you take photos of it, then yes, it might get featured. But I don't think I don't recommend ever trying to like make something for the sole purpose of like trying to make it onto the extra mock thing. This is sort of just an extra thing for us to like discuss cool stuff.
An extra thing.
You know? And yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, X, for bringing this to our attention.
Yeah,
you're
dude.
welcome.
You cool.
It's not-
You're cool
And again,
guy.
credit to the designer here, Rob. The Damiano.
I
always get like upset
I really
whenever.
wish that we knew how to.
I wish that like
Because
there was
neither of the
a-
names.
you
We
could-
just thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Rob,
Things are cool, man.
for making this really cool presentation. You guys should all check it out in the description below.
Yes.
And that about wraps it up for this week's BrickFeed.
What a
everybody.
journey.
Yeah, we went all around the place. As always, BrickFeed Podcast is brought to you by the TTV channel. You can find more of our stuff at youtube.com/THETTV channel, as well as support us on Patreon at patreon.com/THETTV channel as
Why are you
well.
spelling THE?
Because sometimes when I say the TTV channel, people don't
Hello,
think of
we
the
are .TTV channel.
Well, no, they try to search for a TTV channel, and that's not going to lead to us. So I try to emphasize the THE and TTV channel because
Okay.
that's the whole deal. So yeah. Anyhow, you can support us on Patreon. You can go to our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com. There's no the in that one. See, that's why I have to emphasize, right? Because you go back and forth between them.
Nice.
And yeah, that's basically everything we had in store. Thanks for joining us for the BrickFeed Podcast. We'll see you next week. My name is Jonathan.
My name is Meso.
My name is Eljay.
I'm Ben.
My name is the XX.
And this is the BrickFeed Podcast, episode 67. Goodbye.
Farewell, everybody.
Jungle City, Jungle City, Jungle City. I gotta build.
Build it.